I'd like to welcome Kate Rose. On behalf of every woman golfer across the planet, can I just thank you and Justin for getting involved with this wonderful series. I mean, we're here at Brockhurst Manor today for the first one, and you've come. How did you find it? Is it nice to see that, you know, the idea that was only a few weeks old is coming to fruition?
Yeah, it's a bit surreal actually, because it's been a bit of a whirlwind since we came up with the idea, and just to see everyone out here, see all the ladies finally playing, and you know, get to talk to them and see how much they've enjoyed being competitive again is just really, it's been a really good vibe here. I think everyone, even from the members who've been helping with ball spotting and volunteering wherever there was a position that they could help socially distance. It's been a really interesting, really positive experience the whole journey. So it's been really exciting to have the first day here.
How did it all come around? I mean, where did you find out, first of all, about this event? And what made you want to get involved with a women's golf tournament?
So Liz did her article in the Telegraph that she was setting up this event here, and it was about trying to get the ladies back to playing, back to being competitive, that they were sort of in need of a little bit of support. So that was really it. We read that and called her the same day and said, what support do you need? And talked to her about it. And thought how we could help, and then thought, well, why would we just stick to one day and turn it into a series, and would that step on any toes? And she said, no, that's brilliant. And so it kind of just started a whole momentum.
Yeah, it's been amazing how quickly it's all come together, and as well we've got other partners now involved, like American Golf, another computer company that have come in as well. It's just speaking to all the players, the opportunity that you've given them, and I think that's what the players want. You've been in the sporting background, you've been a gymnast, you've seen how hard you have to work just to get any form of recognition. So it's just nice to have partners that want to come in and invest in the women's game. Is that how you feel too? Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's really where we felt we could add some value, was seeing the women, seeing what they were doing and trying to give them a slight platform, whether it was making sure that Sky was involved, the Telegraph doing, you know, continual articles, Justin with his name attached and some of our money behind it, just to give them an opportunity to get out there and play. And once they're getting out there and they're playing, and once their images are on the screen and their stories are getting told, that helps with their sponsorship. So it's sort of a, you know, a whole circular thing, but you kind of need to get in that circle. So just really excited that we're able to somewhat help as a bit of a springboard, and then now it's the ladies' story. It's about them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have a boy and a girl, don't you, Leo and Lottie? So it must be nice for them to see that, yeah, she has a platform that she can go into in sport now. It's not just about men's sport.
I think that so much has changed even in my generation. You know, when I talk to my daughter about how maybe it was when I was at primary school and the girls just simply didn't play football. You know, I remember you had to stand with your back against the wall sometimes. It was, and it's such an anomaly for her, she can't even understand it. So I think that's great, but then there's still some more to be done, just to give women a similar opportunity, not necessarily the same immediately, but to get them seen and to get them visible. And there shouldn't ever be a reason why you shouldn't have the opportunities just because of whether you're a male or female.
I mean, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for thinking the same and then contributing. Have you spoke to many of the players? How are they feeling about the event?
I didn't speak to any of them before they teed off. I thought that's the last thing they would need. And normally I'm obviously the player's wife, so I know more from their perspective than the sponsor's perspective. But yeah, as they're coming off, it's nice to get to talk to some of them and introduce myself, and hopefully we'll become familiar with each other as the series goes on. And it seems like a lot of them are wanting to play in quite a few, and there's a big enthusiasm, and everyone's really embraced it. So I think it was just, there was a little bit of a vacuum. So hopefully we've filled a little bit of the vacuum, and then, you know, it's just attracted more people and more people have got involved. And I think it's just spiraled. It's been really exciting to be part of it.
It has been the most amazing 2 weeks, from seeing one event being announced that Liz Young has done to suddenly this, and it's fantastic to see that it can be done so quickly. In terms of the events, venues, how did they come about? I mean, there's some absolutely fantastic venues. I feel like Justin's just gone down the list of his favourites. Yep.
Well, I think it sometimes helps that I'm a bit oblivious to golf, and I made a few phone calls to some of the venues, but really that was the easiest part of it. I mean, whereas someone who maybe is from within the golf world might feel intimidated to call Royal St George's, being a little bit naive to it, I rang them and had a lovely chat, and thought that it was a great opportunity for them, and they totally agreed and couldn't have been more enthusiastic. And you know, they've got this wonderful course that hasn't been able to be showcased because the Open Championship should have been there. So they were so excited to be able to, you know, use it for the ladies. So yeah, it was just a few phone calls, but honestly, that was, I'd say, one of the easiest things of the whole event. The venues, we actually had to turn some venues down. There was such enthusiasm from other places as well. It was 7 and then it became 8 events, and then the LET tour will start again, which is great. So, you know, we had to kind of cap it. But it was horrible not being able to say yes to all the venues.
Wow, yeah, can you imagine having to turn venues down for women's golf? That is music to my ears.
But I think that's great, because I think that is a sign that there is that interest there is the enthusiasm there. It may be just because it hasn't always been done, it just continues to not get done. So for someone like Liz to just say, this is what we need, then people can respond to that. And we responded, and then because we've been able to have a platform to talk about it, other people have responded. So I always feel that people want to do good and people want to do the right thing. You kind of have to make it easy for them sometimes. And, you know, creating an event and saying this is happening anyway, people have wanted to join in. It's been easy for people to join in, and hopefully once they are involved, like I know American Golf is wanting to continue the conversation. So who knows where things will go in the future, but I think, you know, at least the conversation has started and the relationships are being forged, and I think once you have that, it's just going to grow.
Yeah, exactly. And I would just like to say thank you for starting that conversation, and hopefully this will be something that goes on for many years, and we'll be talking about, do you remember that time that it took us 2 weeks to arrange 7 or 8 tournaments in a row? It'll be great. But thank you so much for yourself and Justin for picking up that newspaper, reading an article, and here we are now.
Well, it's thanks to Liz, it's her idea, and it's this club who was prepared to do it initially, and then the Telegraph covered it, so you know, they deserve a lot of kudos as well.
Thanks, Kate.
Pleasure. Thank you, Sophie.